It's another edition of Time About the Movies. Let's look at the weekend of October 18th, 1991. And unlike the last couple of weeks where we've had multiple movies to look at, we've only got two to wrap up this week. So let's go ahead and get right on into it. Let's start with the first movie that we have here, and that is Danny DeVito starring in Other People's Money. Man, I love this movie. I mean, Danny DeVito and Penelope Ann Miller really, their chemistry works so well. I really like how Penelope Ann Miller is able to compete with Danny DeVito in many of the scenes in this movie. Like I said, this is a really damn good movie. I had a really good time watching this one. It's very funny. I thought Danny DeVito really was going to be the one thing that was going to keep this movie afloat, but overall, the cast of this is very good in this. I like Danny DeVito and Penelope Ann Miller, as I said, but you've also got veterans like Gregory Peck, Piper Laurie, Dean Jones, just these great veteran actors in here, and they're all giving these really good performances, and it's a very funny movie. I mean, like I said, most of the charm comes from DeVito and Miller working off each other, and it's a ton of fun. It's a really good movie all around. The ending is not quite as good as the rest of the movie is. It does kind of go with the typical Hollywood-style Hollywood ending where everything's got to be happy and all that, but, I mean, at the same time, I understand why they do it. It doesn't really affect the film as much, but like I said, man, this is a ton of fun. This is like if you took the War of the Roses, kind of, the dark humor in that, and mixed it with Wall Street, and you have a movie that just works all around. I mean, like I said, DeVito and Miller really keep this movie going. I mean, it's a very fun movie. It's a fun movie all around. Probably my favorite movie from Jewison, even though he did do Moonstruck, but this is really one of his best directorial efforts, in my opinion. It is my personal favorite film from him, honestly. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on Other People's Money. Great movie. If you haven't seen it, if you want to see Danny DeVito doing what Danny DeVito does best, you gotta check this movie out. I mean, in this movie, he literally is playing a younger version of Frank Reynolds from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. You can honestly make the argument that he's playing the Frank Reynolds before he eventually meets up with the gang. I mean, this is a performance that really shows that, and it's Danny DeVito doing what Danny DeVito does best. So I gotta say, once again, check it out if you can. So yeah, that's Other People's Money. So let's go ahead and move on to the next movie, which is, it's as bad as you think it is. Vanilla Ice and Cool as Ice. God damn it, that was a bad movie. It's as bad as you think it is. That trailer pretty much just tells you everything you need to know about how horrible this movie is. You want to know how bad this movie is? Gwyneth Paltrow, when she was still very young, she was offered the role as the leading female in this movie, and her father forbid her from doing this movie because she thought it would hurt her career. Father of the Year right there, because, man, what a disaster this movie is, and what do you really say to this? I mean, you don't like any of these characters in this movie. Like, Vanilla Ice is badly written. You think he's going to be the biggest jerk in the movie, the biggest person that you hate. No, everybody in this movie is awful. They're all awful people in this movie. They think they're funny, but they're not. They think that this guy's going to be the big problem, but they're badly written characters. They're all badly written characters. This universe that they live in is so bad. I mean, it's a movie that just stupefies me that it actually got made, and a major studio said, "Well, this is good enough." I mean, kids will go see anything, and surprise, surprise, kids didn't go see this movie. In fact, nobody saw this movie because even by this point in 1991, Vanilla Ice was a one-hit wonder at this point. His career was already on the downhill slope. And, yeah, you can see why the head of the studio at the time at Universal was having this 18-month streak of bad movies where every once in a while there'd be a hit, but most of the movies churned out were not very good. Greenlighting movies like this probably is why you didn't keep your job for very much longer, but that being said, I don't really know the whole story on that, but I just saw an article from back then talking about how Universal was in an 18-month film slump in January of '92. So, I mean, this could be one of the obviously this is one of the contributing factors, but I don't think the guy got fired afterwards because, of course, a couple years later, the studio would rebound with stuff like Jurassic Park and Son of a Woman, but I'm getting completely off subject here because, quite honestly, I really don't have anything else to say about this movie. I mean, I guess some people would like it for the nostalgic factor. Some people could see it as a guilty pleasure movie. I just don't see it, man. This is a bad movie. This is one of the worst movies of the year. Maybe one of the worst movies ever made, in my opinion. So, to quote somebody from Double Toasted, Patrick Gertz, when he did the review for The Rings, I can honestly say that this is the whitest movie that has ever whited. Plain and simple. That's really all I gotta say about this movie. It's a bad film. It's a bad, bad film. So, yeah, that's cool as ice for you. And so on that note, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies. The next time we meet, we'll wrap up October 1991 with the comedy sequel, House Party 2. One of John Hughes' last movies he did as a director. I think this is the last movie he directed. John Hughes' Curly Sue, Demi Moore and Jeff Daniels in The Butcher's Wife, Chuck Norris as the Hitman, Two Evil Eyes, and also Life is Sweet. So those are the 6 movies that we'll be looking at when we meet back here on Sunday. Of course, tomorrow we have a new Movie Stop episode, and I have a lot of stuff to show you from the last couple of weeks that I got. Some stuff that came in the mail, some stuff I got at the Steelers training camp a couple days ago. And then I think I'm going to go try to see Idris Elba's new movie, Beast. So I might have a review for that tomorrow as well, but we'll see how the day goes. But, with that said, though, thank you guys for watching, and as always, if you want to see more videos like this, check out the playlist on the next page, check out the previous episode, and I will see you guys tomorrow for another video, and then Sunday for a new Time About the Movies. And so, with that said, I am off. So thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time, and until then, take care.